Hey, I want to give this short video to just kind of talk about how you can use my little Python script to spin and actually format the data for your ranking factory project. So at the top of the Python file, I've got Spider open here. At the top of the Python file are a couple of configuration lines. So there are these right here. And so the first file is the spintext.txt. And if you come over here, it's basically our regular spin text. In this case, I used Spin Rewriter, and I just copied and pasted directly into here. Okay. And then the next is a spin image. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that because that's a little different. Let's take a look at it real quick. So this is the spin image. So I've done a couple different things here. A little different than the document I created, but I'm creating things in spin text. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm creating this blank here. And so what that means is every time this thing spins, there's a 50% chance that an image shows up, which is the rest of the stuff, or nothing shows up, just a blank space. So that kind of gives variability. So your one document can have 6 pictures in it, the next document can have 3, and that's how you create that variability. So then within the tag itself, I've got spin text of actual locations of images. So like that's an image here, and I pipe and then onto a next image, right? And then let's see. So when you get to the end of the file, I'm also spinning anchor text. So in this case, I'm doing an article on cabinet painting. So I got cabinet painting, cabinet refinishing, kitchen cabinet refinishing, and I've got that at the end of the file as well. So again, half the time you're going to get blank, and so there's not going to be an image. The other half of the time you're going to get an image, and it's going to spin between these images. I like around 20 images for quite a bit of variability, but you can go as large as you go. I tend to reuse these, so as I'm doing more articles, I'll just reuse the same images over and over. So if I can get 50, 100 of those in here, that makes it very, very variable. Okay, so go back to the Python. The next thing that I have is spin CSS. That looks like this. And it's basically I'm spinning the different CSS files, so you can point to whatever files that you want to use. For this demo, I'm not going to do that, but I mean you can pretty much figure out what you need to do to make that work. All right. And then the next are these image chance and H1 threshold, H2 threshold. Okay, so let me explain the image chance. So that is a chance out of 100 after every paragraph am I going to insert an image. So at this point it's 50%, but really 50% means 25%. Because remember, within my image, I'm saying 50% of the time I'm going to show an image, the rest of the time I'm not. So you can play with that. I've done that where the actual image CSS has more variations, so you can kind of play with the chance there a little bit. But at this point, I'm saying about 25% of the time after every paragraph, I'm going to insert an image. And so if I look at my spin text, I've got 5 paragraphs, so that means, I should have between, 1 or 2 images, maybe, in this document. I mean, it's kind of variable, so and that's kind of what I'm looking for, anywhere from 2 to 4 images. I don't want one after every paragraph, but I do kind of like them sprinkled in there. And the fact that the anchor text is different and that the image itself is different makes it very different across these articles. The next is the H1 threshold and the H2 threshold. So the H1 threshold means the very first line of your spin text, if it's less than 50 characters after it's spun, then it's going to wrap it in an H1. The H2, now within your text you can have headings, and it takes a look at your spin text as well. So I tried it without the spin text, but it just would have to check it every time. So it just took too long. But basically it's going to look at your spin text and say, hey, is this less than 150 characters? If it is, let me wrap it in an H2. It's also going to strip out any extra paragraphs and add the paragraph breaks after every line. So that's just automatic. Okay, so let's see how this works. So if I click Run, it's going to create a brand new version of the file. And it's actually copying it into our clipboard. So if I look over here, you can see I've created an image of a brand new spin. So it looks like it's got a couple of images in there, so this looks good. Let's go to Ranking Factory. Okay, so let's go to our original article, and I'm going to copy that in here. Okay, because remember it's in my clipboard. And then for the articles and keywords, so I found this painter that looked like it needed some help. Now he's right on the top of page 2. Doesn't look like he have any links to this page. So whatever, we'll just send him a little bit of love, right? So I'm using him as, I'm not going to go too crazy because I don't want to penalize him, but doing cabinet refinishing and refinishing cabinets as our anchor text, because I know that's in our articles. Make sure I spin, just in case I didn't do that already. Then let's do it as HTML. And then let's go ahead and upload. It takes a couple seconds. And it's pretty big, but different. Okay, and so now I have all my articles done, and you can see, it's kind of variable. So this one has one image, this one has 2 right after each other. I don't know, 4, all the same image, which is kind of funny. This one has a bunch of different images, has 4. This one has 1. And so you can kind of see that it's just randomly choosing how it's going to create those files. And so it gives you a little bit of variability. If you're creating CSS documents, you can have different background images, you can have different colors, that sort of thing. I didn't do it for this case, but that's definitely something you could do. So anyway, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, drop me a line on Skype, and I'll be sure and help you.